obviously the timeline moved up quite a bit.
Honestly, before I even took my official to Alabama, I told the coaches I was probably going to end up coming to make sure to hold my spot until then. So I plan on taking it to the end, but stress and other factors kind of they started taking a toll. So family and I figured it was in our best interest to just move it up and get it over with and out of the way as soon as possible.
What was it with Ohio State that was better than the other four?
I would say the at-home feeling. Penn State's right down there, but Ohio State was just like such an at-home feeling with the players, the coaching, and like the entire staff as a whole. Like the 3 players that just got drafted still text me all the time, checking up on me and everything like that. And I'd say I probably have the best relationship with just all their players in general as well. So I got like the real rundown of Ohio State instead of just a coaching recruiting part.
Is it relieving now that you have your decision out of the way, and now you can just in the fall you can just focus solely on the season?
Yeah, there's definitely been a weight lifted off my shoulders for sure. I feel like this year, we could go and just focus on football as a whole, as a team aspect, and not have all the outside distractions of where is Julian going to school and things like that. So I think it's going to be a good thing for me and the entirety of the team just to have no outside distractions, just come in and be able to play.
Seeing the quarterbacks from these different schools, have you had an opportunity to talk to these guys? Like, for example, Trevor Lawrence, great young quarterback. Some of these guys are going to be around when you come in. So how big of a priority, I guess, was that? Have you talked to any of them?
Quarterback was definitely a big thing. They have a real good one in my class, Jack Miller, who's 2020 commit, and then they also have the 2021 kid. I forget where he's from, St. Joe's Prep, something like that. I forget. Yeah. But right now they have Justin Fields from Georgia, who's he's a stud. He's dual threat. He's a real good kid. So honestly, quarterback was definitely a big priority. But everything else kind of definitely weighted in a little bit on top of that.
Julian, talk about this process. Obviously, being in the hallways here at Southern, Coach Roth, you got Henry, who won a Super Bowl with the Giants, and obviously all your teammates, Stone's down in Alabama now. What's it been like in school, and obviously getting this out of the way?
In school's been a pretty good environment. I had a lot of guidance from my teammates, my coaches, and everybody. Honestly, they probably helped me keep my head on my shoulders the best that I could, and not let myself be cocky or arrogant about it, because just keeping your head on your shoulders, staying humble about things like this is where that shows like real character.
What's it mean to be in the Big Ten and get a chance to play your college career there?
It's a big thing. Big Ten's kind of the big thing around here, so I'm excited. I'll have a lot of support, throughout the whole community. So I just can't wait.
The rest of your summer, what's that going to entail?
Hopefully, just having a good time with my friends. A little bit of workouts here and there. Probably just family time, spending time with my friends, and just enjoying it for the most part.
How much pressure was there to go to Penn State? Obviously, you're right, an hour down the road. You mentioned the Big Ten. This is the Big Ten area. Penn State fans have already expressed some of their, ill delight that you're not going. You're going to a rival. How much pressure was there to go to Penn State? And because James Franklin was here a lot.
Honestly, there was definitely a lot of pressure. Outside pressure, besides myself and my family. But, coaches, everybody always felt like they needed to give their 2 cents. Like, I'd walk by on the street and be like, go to Penn State. And, a long time I told everybody I thought I was going to go there. And then, it was just hard. I had to crunch some stuff down. They weren't stable on offense, defense. They weren't pulling out games. Their coaching has been unstable for the past couple of years. So, a lot of stuff weighted into it.
You're going to hear it from the fans every time now you go on a road game, Penn State fans. Do you expect that? What do you expect to get from Penn State fans? Are you surprised the way they're reacting too?
Not a surprise at all, no. Everybody has their opinion, so you could love me or you could hate me, but I'm just going to go out and have a good time doing what I love to do.
Was there ever concern as far as Coach Day, this being his first year coaching, replacing Urban Meyer? Like, was that ever kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go here because of that? Was there ever kind of doubts about that?
Honestly, I had a really good relationship with Urban, but, Coach Day had to fill in for those first 3 games of the season. So, he did a great job there. And, honestly, he coached most of the Ohio State team the whole year because Urban was starting to, let him take place because he knew he was leaving. So, honestly, you could see how well Coach Day stepped into that position and what he did with the offense. So, it was pretty easy, no doubt in my mind.
How hard is it to be Pennsylvania's top recruit and then go out of state?
Hard for me. It wasn't that hard for me. Other people around here may think it was a little bit harder, dumb decision. I got called a clown, all that kind of stuff. But you know, honestly, it was my decision, and the only people that really impacted it were my family and I. And you know, we felt it was the right place, and you know, we just moved forward with that, and we're not gonna look back at everything else.
Did you learn anything from other top recruits like Micah, for example? Like, did you learn anything from their recruitment, Swift, any of the recent guys?
I definitely learned a lot from other people's recruitments, and just being able to speak to other players, on campus who went through the process, who already committed and signed. And they said, it's a fun process, definitely, and some people had a little bit more fun with it than others. But a lot of them just said you got to figure out where it feels home to you. And I finally came down to it. Ohio State had that at-home feeling, and then I was just like, I'm tired of the recruiting process. I'm tired of the text messages and the phone calls and everything, and I'm ready to have it over with and just live a regular personal life.
You mentioned the instability on Penn State's coaching.
Yes,
I'm assuming you feel some stability with Ohio State staff. You mentioned Coach Day's in there now. I'm assuming that was a selling point.
Coach Day definitely, and Coach Hartline. Those are my two people. Coach Hartline, he played there. He played in the NFL for a long time. He's back there coaching now. I don't see a reason for him to leave. And Coach Day just stepped into a stable spot. Urban's been there for a long time, so I see him being there for a good while.
Who was the toughest team to say no to, and how do you kind of learn to do that? Because that's not an easy thing for a lot of kids.
Toughest was definitely Penn State, just for the fact that they're right down the road, and I've been there over 20 times, I'd say. I had a real good relationship. We started early, so it did hurt a little bit saying no to them. They were a little bit hurt by it, but Penn State was definitely the one that stung the most, I'd say.
And you call them up and say thanks, but no thanks, or how'd you do that?
Honestly, you have to be respectful for it. Like, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate everything you guys did for me, but at this point, I think I'm going to commit somewhere else. And they spoke their piece, asked if I'd come for more meetings and stuff, and it was to the point where I just felt like it was over with, and I was like, I really don't want to come have a sit down. I'm getting this over with. I'm not taking any more visits. And it's set in stone.
So has Coach Franklin or any coaches from the other 4 schools been in contact with you since yesterday morning?
Since yesterday morning, I think I've gotten 2 or 3 text messages from some coaches. A couple Penn State coaches texted me that I have relationships with. So, they all say good luck and congratulations and everything like that. So, it just really shows how genuine the people they were, just going out of the way, even though it wasn't their pick. But, I big hats off to them, big thank you to them for everything they've done so far in the process, and, even texted me the day after.
Are you enrolling early at Ohio State?
Yes, sir.
And what's that going to be like, not being with your graduating class with all your friends, the second semester? Obviously, you'll be here for football season.
Honestly, I haven't thought that much into it, but, I'm excited. I've been in PA my whole life, so I think it's going to be a fun thing to get there early, start learning the playbook, start learning how college really works, and, just get adjusted to college life, all in all.
And stemming off that, guys like Cal Holiday, Gage Garcia, Preston, and Max that you played with all the way up through, how fun is it to